Hi, I'm John. This is my show, An American Scheme, where I'm proving that Diana Ross is Michael Jackson's actual mother. I want to thank a YouTuber named Kiss Clone. Like the band Kiss, I believe, Kiss Clone. I'm not sure what it means, but that's what Kiss Clone, C-L-O-N-E. Kiss Clone sent me this here and stuff, right? And so I was just starting to record this, and I listened to it again. It's like, you know what? I needed to clarify something, so I went and looked, and it clarified it that no, that we are hearing it the right way and stuff, right? So first she's gonna talk about making like the best of things. Like she doesn't like to focus on the bad and stuff. She likes to learn her lessons and stuff, and then focus on the good and the bigger picture type of thing. And then so I'm going to show you some other stuff related to that and stuff. So let's thank Kiss Clone for sending me this. And here, let's go and watch this here.
Yes, but again, it's where your focus is. I seem to focus mostly on the good things. And I even work on focusing on the better parts of things. You know, things that are difficult, I just kind of realize that it's difficult and there's a lesson there and I'm learning and I'm going to get better or whatever. Yeah. But mostly I focus on how wonderful this life is. I mean, I'm a kid that's from Detroit, Brewster Housing Project, and hardworking parents, and second eldest
around the world and has five children and six children and a wonderful husband.
Five children.
Five.
Give me another one.
Okay, so as she was saying it, because it was kind of tricky because they're both talking there, and then she says, I'm the second eldest, and then he says, and you have, and then she says, she jumps the gun and says 6 children, and then he says 5 children, and then she corrects it and says, oh yeah, 5 children, and then she, yeah, give me another one, you know, it's like, but actually, so when I heard that, it's like, okay, I had to make sure that she didn't say second eldest of 6 children, that there's 6 children in her family. So I wanted to show you, I had to go check on her Wikipedia really quick. And so this says early life there. I'm going to read 2 here. Diana Ross was born in Detroit, Michigan. Okay, she was born the second eldest child of 7 children. Okay, so she was the second eldest of 7 children. So she's not, when she's saying that, I want to clarify that it's not a mistake. It's not that she's saying I was the second eldest of 6 children because there were 7 children, okay? So that's not what she's saying. We're going to listen to this again, that part there. And you'll see she says, she's about to say the second eldest, and she might have said of 7 children, she might have said that, but then he jumps in quick and he's saying, you've got 5 children, you know, because he's talking about their life, and so he's going to invoke that she's got 5 children, but before he could spit out the word 5, she says 6. Okay, and then she's like, oh, give me another one. And then she clarifies, but it's really tricky because you have to really listen to what she's saying. But she says 6, it's clear when you actually look at what it is. She says, I have 6 children, is what she actually is saying here.
Realize that it's difficult and there's a lesson there and I'm learning and I'm going to get better or whatever. Yeah. But mostly I focus on how wonderful this life is. I mean, I'm a kid that's from Detroit, Brewster Housing Project, and hardworking parents, and second eldest
around the world and has 5 children and 6 children and a wonderful husband.
5 children.
Five.
Give me another one.
See, it's like, and because the guy says, and you're hardworking around the world and has 5 children, but before he can say 5 children, she spits out 6 children. And then he says, oh, 6 children. And then she clarifies it, no, 5 children. You know, and, oh, give me another one. She makes the joke and makes it confusing and stuff, and it makes it so if you were watching that in the moment, what's the chances that, first of all, you would have heard it clear, like if you're just watching it when it was happening live on television, how would you have heard that clearly? Then how could you have actually understood it? The only way, that's saying, one thing about my story that's going on is it takes place now in this world with the internet where we have access to all of these things. The investigation of what I'm doing, if I would have had the hunch, like let's say that I'm sure there's people that had hunches and had thoughts and stuff, but they didn't have the access. Maybe it took place in a time before the internet was available to them, or they just kind of brushed it off and never did the investigation and stuff, right? So it was just one of those things that I happened to have the ends. I saw it happen. Like I said, I saw Diana Ross morph into Michael Jackson when I was watching the movie Lady Sings the Blues. Diana Ross was up there singing, and next thing you know, like literally she like morphed into Michael Jackson, where I was not seeing Diana Ross. I was literally seeing Michael Jackson. And I literally was like, I was laying down, I got up and like rubbed my eyes. It was like this dramatic. It was so like, whoa. I rubbed my eyes and looked, and I just kept seeing Michael Jackson. That's how it happened. So that's what actually had to happen. I had to see it like that. I saw it. Then because of that, I knew that Michael Jackson and Diana Ross had a long history and stuff, and you know, and I had heard the stories about him looking like her, all kinds of things. I had known quite a bit of stuff, and then so that's when I asked the question, hey, could Diana Ross be Michael Jackson's mother? Is that what that's all about? So then I watched the movie. After the movie was over, I had a computer at that time. I went to the internet. I started looking the stuff up, and then and here we are 10 years later. It's over 10 years now, you know? It's like, here we are 10 years later, the story is like developed, and it's like I've got such hardcore evidence, and people out there now are sending me stuff like this Kiss clone sent me this video, and he said, look at this part, and he says, how many children does she have? And it's clearly a woman would not make a mistake saying, I've got 6 children. She would know she's got 5 children, unless she has 6 children. If she has 6, well, who's the other one? It's Michael. And it's one of these things where she tells the truth, but she doesn't like tell it. But what she was saying before that is she was talking about, and see, it's funny because it's right before the Michael, she tells the thing with the 6 children, she's talking about, she doesn't like to focus on the bad, she likes to focus on the good things in life and think how good and learn from the life lessons and stuff like that, right? And then that's what happened with her in the Michael thing. It turned into this much bigger thing where she's learning all these lessons and stuff. So, this is the Diana Ross special that she did in 1971. It said that, this one's here, it says, this is from the Diana Ross official fan club. It says Diana was the special, 1971. It was called Diana, and it's labeled here, Diana Ross, first solo TV special, okay? And this is 1971, so this is pretty close to after the Jacksons have moved to Los Angeles and they're living in Diana Ross's house. So she's told Michael that she's his mother and everything. That's happened. But it's still early on in that occurrence of happening. But so she does a special. Here's her doing a solo act with Michael. So just so you can see that this is this special where these things...
Nicely. I always see.
You know, so this is the special where this stuff is in it. There's a lot of stuff. There's a bunch of performances with the Jackson 5s, but she does solo acts with Michaels. There's all kinds of stuff going on here. But now we're going to get up to... I'm going to show you something here. Okay, now, listen to what she says. Oh, there's going to be an ad now. It says there's an ad coming.
There's no saying that a picture...
Stupid ad.
Picture's worth 1,000 words.
So right there, she just said, there's an old saying that a picture is worth 1,000 words, okay? So she clearly states that. A picture is worth 1,000 words. So let me show you a picture here really quick. Okay, a picture is worth 1,000 words. She's telling you, she's clearly understanding the importance of photography, right? That's what she says right there. A picture is worth 1,000 words. Now, it's worth 1,000 words because it's art, right? So most of the people out in the world, they see this and they're like, oh, look at Michael and Diana are having sex. That's not 1,000 words. That's not anywhere near close. When they see a picture like this, see how simple their explanation is because they're thinking with their genitalia instead of thinking with their brain and their heart and their soul. And so their simple understanding and their explanation, oh, look at Michael and Diana is having sex. Look at this photograph. That means that they're having sex. It's like, dude, that's not even 10 fucking words. We're talking about 1,000 words. Your description of what you see is broken down into less than 10 words. When Diana's telling you, there's an old saying that a picture is worth 1,000 words, and it's worth much more than that. It's art. It tells all kinds of different stories. So like when I see this picture, when I start describing it, I'm like, look at Diana Ross abandoned Michael Jackson, and then Michael Jackson came back to Motown. This photograph, this actual photograph right here is the promo. It was the promo poster photograph. This is the one for Motown 25 on the promo poster. This is the actual photograph that's used on that. And so on Motown 25, Michael has come back to Diana Ross. Now it's the Motown 25 that they're doing this performance and everything. And then Michael has his arms wrapped around her belly. That's where he was abandoned from, because that's where he originated from, her belly. And she has her arms embracing Michael's hand in a position where it looks like she's caressing a child, or maybe she's holding her pregnant belly. It looks like there's a little belly sticking through there because Michael's hand's there. It almost looks like she's caressing her pregnant belly, but it's actually Michael's hand in that position. Okay, that's what I'm saying. A picture's worth 1,000 words. I always say that this is the most powerful photograph of Michael and Diana. It's phenomenal. When you actually understand that Michael's abandoned, he's come back to her, and they're in this position at the Motown 25, and they've taken this photograph. It's a picture's worth 1,000 words. So that's one of them I wanted to show you there that shows that. And then, now, Diana, she's right here. I'll show you a little bit more here. I wanted to show you this.
Well, a funny picture is worth 1,000 laughs. And the old-time movies prove that. I get a chance to watch some of them sometimes, and I have some favorite stars. Some of them are Chaplin.
Okay, some of them are Chaplin. So the first one that she mentions is Chaplin, okay? And then she goes and look at, that's Diana Ross. So that's the thing, that's not Michael Jackson, that's Diana Ross. That's Diana Ross doing Chaplin in 1971. This would be before Michael Jackson's got his infatuation with Chaplin and all of that stuff, right? See? So that's Diana Ross doing Chaplin, okay? So now then, we know that Michael Jackson is infatuated with Chaplin too, and he made the song Smile, which is a Charlie Chaplin song. And so this is the single, and I think there could be technically that this is a single that was released, but it was on a short something happened, and this picture is a limited picture. I'm not positive, but I think I heard that this photograph is like a collector's edition. If you have this edition of Smile, the single version with this photograph, I think there's something that it came out and there was not many of them made, that it's a collector's edition. I'm not positive, but I think I heard that story. Okay, but I want you to see that same thing. A picture is worth 1,000 words, okay? Now, Michael Jackson on the song Smile, he decided to put this image, okay? And so I had just made the video about Michael Jackson portraying the Tramp, the character of the Tramp, the Charlie Chaplin's character, the Tramp. And I was saying that this photo, I know it's from a movie. I saw the other photo with Chaplin and the kid where it was the actual photo of them in this exact position. So I knew that this photograph originates from a Charlie Chaplin movie. So I was saying, if Michael is invoking this image on this song, there's got to be something more significant to that story of like the kid. I was saying I need to find out which movie this is from so I can find out the background of the kid, because that's how Michael Jackson tells these stories. This is what I found out of things that he does, and how, like I said, a picture tells 1,000 words. There's a larger story here at play. There's an artist performing his artwork, right? And I could tell that there was something bigger here, right? So I went and looked, because there was another photograph too I was looking for, but I couldn't find that one, but I found this one, okay? Okay, so it's actually, the movie's called The Kid. Okay, so that's the photo that he's recreating. I could show you the actual photo. There is an actual photo, but this one has the title of the movie on it, The Kid. So that's why I used this one, where I could show you the actual photo, but this one's a drawing, but it has the title of the movie. It's like a movie poster. It says The Kid, okay? So this is the movie. The movie's called The Kid, okay? So Michael Jackson specifically recreated that photograph because he wanted you, see, this is the Charlie Chaplin song, but Michael Jackson, through the invoking of Charlie Chaplin, he invokes this image because he wants to put the image of that movie, he wants to link it up into this song. He wants to show you something. This is what he's doing, what I found out that what they've been doing with their art and how they're hiding the truth within the simpleness of what looks just to be something that they're doing, but there's a whole other bigger picture there and stuff, right? So now, then, okay, this is the movie The Kid. So then I went and watched the movie. You can go watch this on YouTube and stuff, right? And so I had made a video about this last night, but what I found out is that the music, there's all the music playing in these silent films. They have music playing. And then I forgot to even think about that the music is like copyrighted, right? So I was just playing I thought, oh, it's an old movie, I can play all of this, but then I forgot it's like music's copyrighted, so they actually blocked the video I made last night, so I wasn't able to do it. So I wrote down a bunch of pieces of this film. I'm going to click through them and we're going to go through them so we can tell you the story of the film, so you can understand that this is why Michael Jackson specifically chose this film. And so this is the other thing about what I was saying. See how Diana Ross was talking about like making the best of things and not looking at the bad things in life, and how in 1971 when she's doing that special with Michael Jackson, she directly invokes Charlie Chaplin and she imitates him and stuff, right? So it makes me think that Diana Ross showed Michael Jackson this movie, and that's why it's so powerful. That's why the message of what's going on here with like this, it's that I think that Diana Ross showed Michael this movie to show Michael, look at, this is a common thing that has occurred throughout history about mothers abandoning their children, and then life takes them on a different journey, and then the next thing you know, they're reunited. Because it's like, that's the story about what I keep saying, and then that's what this movie ends up being about. I'm going to show you here. But and see how Diana Ross in that first thing where I was showing you where she was saying how she likes to focus on the good things in life and not worry about the bad things, and just life that's how life is and stuff, right? So think about the reality. Diana Ross shows Michael Jackson this movie, and specifically this movie, The Kid. She specifically shows him this movie, and she tells Michael, this is how God works. God works in mysterious ways. And she's telling him, look this is a story that's taken place before. I'm not the first one that's happened to. I was a young mother. I didn't know what to do. I had problems, and I abandoned my child. I made a mistake. She knows it was a mistake, but what she doesn't know is that God works in mysterious ways. And so then what she's telling Michael is that, yeah, but because I abandoned you, it allowed these other things to happen, which allowed her to become the lead singer in the Supremes, got her into Motown. And then Michael was given to the family where they turned it into the Jackson 5. Like, so none of those things might not have happened if she didn't get pregnant and then it developed that way. Because if that doesn't happen, then life is different. It's a different story and maybe doesn't develop. So what she's telling Michael is this is how God works. God works in mysterious ways, and we learn from our lessons, but we also have to understand that we're here doing this thing where God is using us. He's using us as an outlet of his message. And that's what I'm saying is that I think Diana specifically would have used this movie to tell Michael that story, to like explain to him what she had done and how life works and stuff. And so that's what I'm saying. When you want to talk about like a picture having 1,000 words, this movie, The Kid, and Michael putting this image here so he invokes that movie, The Kid, the story, the background story of what Michael Jackson's understanding of what that means, it's massive. And I'm pretty sure that Diana would have used this movie to explain that to Michael, because this is what the movie's about. And she's just telling you how she likes to not worry about the focus on the bad stuff. She likes to look at the bigger picture and stuff. And right? So, okay, so let's get into the movie here. Okay, so it's the woman whose sin was motherhood. Okay, Charity Hospital. Here's the woman coming out of the hospital. Okay, and here she is coming out of the hospital with her baby, and there's nobody there with her, right? There's nobody there. She's alone, right? She's alone. She's got her baby. She's walking out of the hospital. She doesn't know what she's going to do, right? So let me go ahead and I'm going to skip forward to another part here. Okay, now here she is. She's walking down the street with her baby. She walks into this good neighborhood. She looks around. She's like, oh, there's a big house. Look, here's a car here. This is a nice neighborhood. She prays. She looks up to God, and she's like, what am I going to do, God? She's trying to figure out what does she do. And she abandons her baby. She leaves the baby. Okay? She leaves the baby. She abandons her baby. That's what I'm telling you. When Michael Jackson is like, took that picture of the kid on that smile with the Charlie Chaplin, but so what's the movie that he actually shows you that this is the movie, the one that's the important one? It's this movie. What's the movie about? Oh, a mother who abandons her child. You know, no one's there to help her and stuff. So she abandons her kid. Now let me go forward here. Then what happens is the car gets stolen by some criminals, okay? So the car gets stolen by these criminals. And then the criminals find the baby. Look they pulled a gun. The baby started crying, and the guy pulls a gun on the baby. This is like Chaplin. It's funny stuff, right? And then, so they're like, what do we do with the kid? And then they're just like, get rid of it. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. And he throws the kid out with the trash. He puts him out by the trash cans, okay? This is what I'm saying is like, boy, that's sad. You just threw the kid out like trash. Where the mother had abandoned her child, now the kid's been just thrown out like trash, okay? This is what I tell you about like Michael Jackson, him realizing that he was abandoned. And he was abandoned. His life could have went all kinds of weird ways. And this is like with Diana Ross too, saying, well, you did end up with the Jacksons and you ended up with the band. You came back to Motown. That's how God works in mysterious ways. We have to look at the better side of what happened. But Michael could never, inside, he always had the eternal pain of understanding that he was abandoned. That there's this connection to him feeling like he was thrown out like trash, right? So, okay, let me skip forward here. So then what happens is Chaplin comes by and he finds the baby. I'll go and put it. He finds the baby and Chaplin picks the baby up. That's the part there. He sees a woman with a stroller over there, and he goes to return it to her, but then she's like, that's not my baby. Get that baby out of here, right? So then Chaplin has the kid. Okay, so we're going to go, let me go to the next part here. Where I've got the times marked down, but you can't always get the perfect timing on it, right? So then Chaplin now, he's got the kid. Chaplin's got the kid, and he's like, he tried to give it to the lady, and then it was really funny what happened. he gives it to another like homeless guy, and he takes off running. Then the homeless guy has the kid, and then he sees that lady with the stroller, and he puts the baby in the stroller, and the chaplain comes walking by, and the lady's like, "What are you doing here? You put that kid in my stroller again?" And then so he ended up back with the baby. It's like one of those, that's how God works in mysterious ways type of things. It's like destiny, that he was destined to end up with the kid, right? That's funny shit, right? So then Chaplin's like, okay, he's got the baby. He's like, what do I do? He's got the baby now, right? So then he finds a note. He reaches in and he finds a note in the baby, and he opens it up now, and the note says, "Please love and care for this orphan child." Okay, the mother, that's the note that she wrote. She abandoned her baby, and she just wrote the note, "Please love and care for this orphan child." Okay, that's what the mother did. She wrote that note. Okay, so then we go to, let me go up here, go to the next part. Okay, so then he's got the kid, he's bringing the kid home, and there's some women there, and they ask him, "Is that your kid?" And he's like, yeah, that's my kid. It's so funny. "Yeah, that's my kid. And then they ask him, "What's the kid's name?" I'm stopping it because I don't want to get the copyright. I'm just like going like that, right? So he says, hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, so they asked him, "What's the kid's name?" And then he comes back and tells them the kid's name is John. Which is just like, it's ironic because, so, think of, like I said, look at how God works in mysterious ways. So, there's this movie that Michael Jackson is using to invoke like the real life experience of what he went through. That he kept always was talking about Chaplin, and Smile's his favorite song, and then on the cover of the Smile he invokes this movie The Kid, which is about this story. Okay, this movie came out in 1921. Okay, so now we're in 2021, so it's 100 years. 100 years ago this movie was made, and then the kid's name in the movie is John, and then so my name's John, and here I am, the person now like doing this investigation and going through this process of discovery. I'm using that Charlie Chaplin film to explain the real life story of what happened in Michael Jackson's life. And this is something that started 100 years ago. This is like one of those things about how God works in mysterious ways. And the kid's name in the movie's John, and so I'm John. That's what I'm saying. This is some weird shit. When I'm watching this stuff, it's like I'm living in this weird, like Twilight Zone reality. It's weird. This shit is weird, right? So, okay, let me go up to here to the next part now. There's a bunch of things in this movie that are like, whoa, that's interesting. It's a good little movie and stuff, right? So then 5 years later, so he's taking care of the kid, then it jumps to 5 years later, okay? So now we're 5 years later, and then let me go to, okay, so this is, now it's 5 years later, and that's the mother. The mother has become some kind of star in the entertainment field. Okay, she abandons her child, and then she becomes a star. Professor Guido Impressio. Oh, hold on. There's a part here I have to show you the 2052. Okay, hold on, because the woman now a star of, the woman now a star of great prominence, okay? Like Diana Ross, right? Abandons her baby, now she turns into a star. Like, what's the chances? Like, like I said, when Michael Jackson's invoking this, then that's the exact story of what I'm saying. Diana Ross abandoned her child, and then she became a big star, and then what I'm going to show you here later, in this movie, they find each other back again. That's the story of what I'm saying. That's the picture that Michael Jackson is recreating, telling you that this story is significant to him. The woman, now a great star of prominence, so see, they're sending her flowers after her performance, and then she pulls the card out of the flowers, and it says, "Congratulations on your performance last night." Okay, she's some kind of performer. She's a great star. She's some kind of performer. See what I'm saying? See how this stuff is connected? This is why it's this movie that Michael Jackson was showing you the image of, and what's the story of the movie? Like I said, I need to find out the background of the kid. And then the movie ends up being called The Kid, and then that's what the kid is. The kid's an abandoned kid, and the mother then becomes a big star, right? It's the same story of what I'm saying with Michael and Diana. It's like, here, look at how much more what more can Michael then tell you to tell you that this is going on? Okay, so let me go to another part here. Okay, so here, now the woman is a big star, so she's doing charity. Charity to some a duty, to others a joy. Okay, so now you've got the connection with Michael and Charity and stuff, and right, and his love for like these orphan children and these kids and things like that he has this love for, and the charity part of what Michael's life, part of what it means and stuff, right? Okay, so then, see, here she comes. She's in the neighborhood now, and she's giving out presents to the kids. That's her. She's doing all this stuff. She's giving out presents to the kid and stuff, right? And then the kid comes out. Here she is, and she meets her kid. She meets her kid. She doesn't know that that's her kid at this time. That's the kid on the left. That's her baby. He's grown up. It's 5 years later, like it said. She's a big star. She's in the poor neighborhood doing charity work and stuff, right? And then so that's her kid. So she meets her kid right there. And then I'm gonna go up. I got these times marked down, so I'm gonna go up here to this other part here. Okay, so then it says, this child is ill, get a doctor. And then she's carrying the kid now at this time. She's in the neighborhood and she saw the kid coughing and stuff, right? And she was bringing the kid back to his house, and she tells the Tramp, the Charlie Chaplin, she says, this child's ill, get a doctor at once. Okay, see, there she is. So she's got the kid. She's got the kid now in her arms. She's taking him back to Chaplin, and she says, the kid's sick, right? So Chaplin, he does call a doctor, and then the doctor comes and asks him, is this your kid? And Chaplin's like, well, no, but yeah. You know, he's kind of like, no, yeah. And then the Chaplin shows the doctor the note that the kid's an orphan child, okay? So then the doctor leaves, and the doctor calls, like, the orphanage people on him. Okay, let me go forward to there. Okay, so then the orphan people come to check on the kid, and they want to take the kid away. Are you the father of this child? I think that was okay, I was going to show you that part. Are you the father of this child? That's the guy asking him. That's the doctor, actually. That was the doctor. And he asked him, are you the father? And he says, yeah, well, he says, well, practically, right? But then he shows the doctor the note. And he says, well, practically I'm his father, but he's not really. Shows him that this is an orphan kid, and he's been raising him. So then that guy calls the orphanage people on him. And let me go forward 30, 50. I got the times. Okay, so then here, see, county orphan asylum. So then those people come, and then they take the kid. But then Chaplin fights him and gets the kid back, and he is like in hiding. And then this next part happens here. Let me go to the next part. Okay, so then the lady comes back to check on the kid, right? The mother, she comes back to check on the kid. There's the doctor, and the doctor's telling her what happened and stuff, right? And he's like, so he's telling her what happened. When I'm stopping, it's just because, like I said, the music's playing, and I don't want to get copyright on it. And so there he goes. He's telling her what happened, and he pulls the letter out of his jacket, and he's going to show it to her now. He says, here, this is the letter about what happened, the story of the kid. And now the mother's got the letter, and that's her letter. The one that reads that this is a kid, an orphan. Please take, that's the letter that she wrote. She realizes that that's her kid, okay? She realizes that's her kid. And then she goes through a process and stuff, but in the end, like, she gets the kid, and then Chaplin was looking for the kid because she'd put up a reward. So somebody stole the kid, took the kid, turned the kid in for the reward. She ended up with the kid. Chaplin ended up looking for the kid, and the cop said, oh, well, the kid was given back to her mom. And he said, here, I'll take you to him and stuff, right? So then here they are. So they're in her big house now. The kid's living with her. But the kid's like all happy to see him because that's like his dad and stuff, right? So then they're all reunited, and it's a happy story. Everybody lives happily ever after and stuff, right? They're all reunited. And so that's the kid. That's the movie, The Kid. That's what I'm saying. That's the movie, The Kid. What's the movie that Michael told you This is like, that's what he's telling you by putting this picture here. This is the movie that he's telling you, that this is the important movie. This is like what I said. I found out that that's what he's been doing. They've been putting these little messages and leaving the breadcrumbs for somebody to go follow it back and put the whole story back together. And so Michael, when he did this, because I'm doing the story, I knew that, okay, well, that photo is there's probably much more there. And then I find out it's the movie called The Kid. What do you find out the story of the kid is? The kid's an abandoned child. Mom becomes a star. Then they end up becoming reunited and getting back together, and everybody lives happily ever after. That's basically the story of what I'm saying with Michael. Like, what's the chances? You know, why would Michael be so interested in that specific film? It's because it's the story, telling the same story of what I'm telling you. How many times do we got to find this stuff? I look at the beginning of this film, this video where I showed you. There's Diana, and she says she's got 6 kids. The guy's about to say, and you've got 5 kids, and before he says 5, she cuts him off and says 6. It's like, dude, this stuff is everywhere. They left behind the clues for somebody to put it together. It's happened. I've found the truth. I've done the investigation. Everywhere we keep looking, we find more and more pieces. I know there's a lot more stuff out there, but this stuff is like heavy. Like, come on. I mean, to find this picture and see what the movie's actually about. And so, the kid being abandoned by his mother. If Michael's a Jackson, then what does that have anything to do with Michael? That, he just cares about children so much? But isn't it ironic that that's the story about what I'm saying? That he's abandoned as a child, and his mother becomes a big star. What's the story of the kid? The mother abandons the child, and she becomes a big star. And then she ends up reuniting with the child. That's the same story about what I'm saying in Michael Jackson's life is. It's totally like blatantly obvious that this is what was going on. And Michael Jackson left behind documents for us to go back and do the investigation so somebody could do it. He left behind the clues. And now we put it all together and we see the truth now. We've got the evidence, and we can stand up to any interrogation from anybody that wants to interrogate my story and ask me to provide proof and evidence. I can show documentation over a long period of time from a number of different elements and parts of their life and from different people, from Diana and from Michael, and show how this stuff's all occurring and how this is the story that existed that nobody ever understood what it actually was and stuff. And here, it's all here, all documented. And so now we just got to get the fans to understand. It's like, if you care about Michael Jackson, you have to understand the importance of getting Diana Ross to tell the truth of this story while she's alive. And it's like, if you care about Michael Jackson, you have to understand that Diana Ross is alive, and we can get her explanation and get her to confess to all of this. It's like right there, she's still alive. This story's happening while she's still alive. It's like, come on. All you've got to do is care about Michael Jackson and understand that to clarify everything about Michael Jackson's life, we need Diana Ross to give the explanation. And once she sees that I've done this investigation, that I can just call her out on so many levels and hit her with the evidence of stuff she provided for her on her own. Once I hit her with all this stuff, she cannot deny it because she doesn't want to deny it. She wants the world to know that Michael Jackson is her child and the child of Smokey Robinson. She wants the world. She's so proud that she had that child, and that child ended up becoming Michael Jackson. She's so proud of that. She wants the world to know, but she made a deal with the Jackson family, and she understands the importance of the Jacksons raised Michael, that she had given him away, and it wasn't a guarantee that Michael was going to turn into the Jackson 5. All that stuff is, that's what I say, life, God works in mysterious ways. So she can't undermine the entirety of the Jackson family, and she can't ruin that by telling the truth. She can't do it. She won't do it. And then she would also be sabotaging the beginning of Motown, because Berry Gordy is the one who talked her into giving the kid away. That could make him look bad. And she has a child with Berry Gordy. So the two other guys, it's like she's got a child with Smokey Robinson because this is her child with Smokey Robinson. So she doesn't want to backstab Smokey Robinson. She has a child with Berry Gordy. She doesn't want to backstab Berry Gordy and Motown and all that stuff. And then the Jacksons raised Michael and all the things with the Jacksons and Janet Jackson, the Jackson 5 and their Motown. She doesn't want to backstab and undermine them when they raised her child. She's not going to actually tell the truth. She won't do it. It has to be forced, but once it's forced upon her, she will confess and she'll tell the truth because she'll understand that there's nothing that she can do now. The story's out, and she will confess because in reality, she wants the world to know the truth.